re-download it or something. Because the camera's working with your computer.
Okay, you're live.
So how do I know what's showing? Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. Hold tight, the computer wasn't recognizing the camera for some reason today. So Courtney switched out to my phone, so we just got to get things lined up a little bit. Looks kind of high.
I can lower it.
So just sit tight for a minute and we'll get the screen up and going here. We're just switching the phone out for the camera. Oh, okay, so Jason brought me the mirror so I can look at the top of the phone to see where everything's are. So it looks like you guys can see what we got. Alright, let me see, it's kind of backwards there. Alright. So it looks like everything is in the screen. So we have our fairy house and fairies from our May box, which we're working on. So this was our fairy house that we already finished last week, except putting the glitter on. And then we have our two fairies that we're going to be painting tonight. Our little girl and our little boy. And we had color washed them with the medium brown on our first night when we did our fairy house. And last week we put our red, our rust and our red on our mushrooms on our boy because we were working with red anyway. So Courtney's making some adjustments here yet for us.
Wonky.
Seems wonky.
No, camera.
Just turn the
Should I turn the table? It's hard to see it like the
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, there's quite a delay.
Still seems wonky.
Just move the table maybe. So hold on, we're coming. So Courtney's got to adjust the camera because things are crooked. Which the phone is up on a pedestal above my head, so it's not the easiest thing to do. So just give us another minute. Let's see, we got Connie joined us, Linda, Tammy, Marie, Wanda, Linda, Tammy, Carol, Jeannie. Hi, everyone. So we're going to work on our fairies tonight. We just need another minute here. We're going to get the camera lined up, so we think we're good. The delay on the computer screen is quite a change from the actual live stuff. So they're saying it looks fine, so all right, we're good to go then. And we got Nancy joining us now. Oh, and Ollie, so welcome. Oh, Ollie from Sweden, hello. Very cool. So we have our little fairies here. Oh, and we did do our flesh last week too with the light brown. And looks like we started with her hair, so that's probably where we'll pick up tonight. Connie says it looks a little far away, Courtney. So we'll get her situated. Just let us know. Hopefully the camera don't move because we have a new pole. I don't know. Try a little more because that's probably good. We have a new pole that Jason made us that we can adjust the height and distance with. Oh, we got all kinds of you guys tonight. We got Shirley and Margarita and Debbie and Roswitha. Well, hello, you guys. So, of all nights when we have problems. But that's okay. We'll get it. So I'm going to grab my Duncan Bisque stain, my black brown, my OS 473. And we're going to put that on the foil that I use, or you can use a paper, not a paper plate or a styrofoam plate or your ceramic tile. And we're going to go with our little girl's hair. So I'm going to go with a, let's see, what do I want? I'm going to go with my artist paintbrush, my dry brush, APB 355-3, so it's my size 3 dry brush, and I'm watching, it looks like our screen is, we got it zoomed in a little bit closer. Maybe we could go like another 2 inches, Courtney. So thanks for hanging with us while we get reset up because the computer wouldn't recognize the camera. I don't know if Facebook did an update or Courtney's camera, but we gotta adjust something, and now I think I moved the camera here. Looks good? Okay, so hopefully it moved in a little more. It takes a little bit for the delay on the screen. So I just dabbed my brush in the black brown and I brushed it out so I have a nice dry brush. And now I'm going to dry brush back and forth on my hair, going across my texture. So we can get her some nice dark hair. You could do any color of hair. You could do red, the blonde, whatever it is you wanted. I did the dark because Courtney has dark hair, so I actually did it with the dark. So I'm just going to brush back and forth across my texture and get her some nice dark hair. So did you get to check if everyone got their boxes, Courtney, or not?
90%.
Courtney says 90% of you guys should have gotten your... Actually, this is the April box. The fairies are from the April box. I said the May box. The May box is shipped on the 6th, and Courtney says 90% of you guys got them. I know shipping is...
There's a few areas that are really bad.
Couple areas that are backed up. I know I had my slip mixing pump. It took from the 23rd of April till yesterday to get it. And that's something like that usually takes like 3 days and you have it. So shipping's definitely a little bit of a backlog.
The international one and one other one.
So she said what the international one and one other one. So otherwise everyone hopefully has you have your boxes, and I hope you guys enjoyed opening them. So I'm just brushing back and forth with my black brown, and I'm starting away from the face, and then I slowly nudge up to the face. That way I can see right where my black brown is going without getting it all over her face. And you can always touch the face up a little bit later too if you have to. So we'll just go back and forth here. So now with your mushroom for your May box, we'll be doing those with the polka dots on them. But if you'd rather do a different technique, just like with any of your boxes, feel free to do that. But I'll also show you how to do the crackle technique if you didn't want to do the polka dots. And if you had access to a kiln, so this is the crackle technique. It's just it'll just be an extra teaching option that you can do if you want. This is the polka dots. This is the way that I'll be doing it too. So you could pick between the two ways that you want to do it. You won't be able to do both, but you could pick the one. And then if you have access to a kiln and you wanted to put a crystal glaze or a glaze on it, they have been fired to 04 for the greenware firing. So you could fire it again with the glazes on it if you want, and you won't have any problems with that, because some people might want to glaze theirs instead of painting it with their acrylics. But we'll do it with the acrylics and we'll seal it. The inside has been glazed, so that'll be good for outside. And then we'll also show you with the little butterflies how to seal the inside of that, because those are not glazed on the inside, but we'll show you a way to seal those that they can go outside. So now with my little girl, because we had the light brown, I didn't want her real dark. I am kind of getting the dark in the crevices because it does look kind of off with the light color in the crevices, so I probably could have just painted her hair too, but we'll just work. I'll go with my crevices and fill them in. So I think Courtney's going to adjust the camera here again. Too far away. So hold tight, we're going to move again. So are you zooming in, or what are you trying to do? She zoomed in, Courtney zoomed in. So I'm just brushing back and forth, kind of actually going with my crevices this time, because I don't want them the light brown. I do want them to be more of the dark brown. Vicky says better. Connie says much better. Maybe just a little more, I don't know. Oh, that's probably perfect. Now I just got to get me where I need to go.
Well, that's a delay.
Yeah, we got the delay. Maybe we're too close now.
Totally possible.
Let's see. So I think I need to move up a little bit, huh? Or do I need to move towards me? There and over? Which way? Left?
And then come down. Okay, perfect.
Oh, because it's like way off on there.
That's not right though.
Okay.
That's the...
Okay, well, hopefully we got it adjusted here a little better. Wanda likes the close-up. All right, good. So you can see that in her crevices, she has the medium brown because of the color wash, and we really don't want that light color in the crevices because she does have the dark hair. So I am going with my crevices instead of across them to get those filled in with that dark color. If you wanted, you could just paint the hair out too. But I did want the skin to have more of that lighter and the little dress and stuff to have the lighter color in the crevices. So we'll take it right up to our little flower there. And right down to our little wings. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we got it lined up pretty good now, as long as I don't get her out of the screen. I'll try to keep my left hand in one spot here. So I'm just using the black brown. Huh?
It's the tablecloth stain.
The stain was like the right spot. All right. So we're going to come around to the front. So it's been an interesting night already tonight. Now Courtney will have to go find whatever update or whatever it is she needs to get the camera back onto the computer.
The one nice thing about your cell phone is that we can get up close like this.
Yeah.
We can't do that with the camera.
Okay. What about with the new GoPro thing?
I gotta play with that.
So we did get a new camera, the GoPro. But neither one of us have had time for much of anything here yet. Extras, because we had to get the boxes shipped, and we actually have some bisque we need to get in the mail.
Orders out, yeah.
So those will be coming if you ordered. So I need a little more of our black brown because I want to get those crevices filled in a little bit more. A little bit down to her face here yet. And I just do little bitty C strokes just to nudge it down there without getting it all over her face. So just little bitty strokes so you can just see where your wet brush is touching her face. And I'll probably have to touch that up a little bit. So I actually have her resting on the table so she doesn't move and shake, so hopefully you guys can see that a little better. Oh, we got a little light stuff on her little bangs here yet. Oh, Chuck says we don't want her roots showing. Nope, we don't want her roots showing. That wouldn't be good, would it? Well, at least they're not gray. She could blame it on the virus that she didn't get to the hairdresser.
I know, I haven't.
Huh?
I haven't. I'm about to cut mine myself.
You've had it with your hair?
Yeah.
Or the gray? You don't have gray yet.
No, I need it cut.
Oh, you need it cut? I cut my bangs last week.
Past my butt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you can't tell when it's up.
No.
Courtney says hers is past her butt again.
It's gonna get cut.
It grows really fast and it's really thick.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we got her little brown hair all taken care of, I think. So let's see, what else did we need brown on? I'm going to look at, his shoes have that same dark brown on. So long as we have the dark brown on the black brown in our brush, we're gonna switch over to get his shoes. So we'll just brush back and forth here and get his little shoes, nudge it right up to the edge where the skin meets the boots. So we'll just work our colors on here. Just grab a little brown and brush it out. Make sure you do some of the bottom where the boots would be. You always want your bottoms to look good.
My sister said zoomed in is nicer than how we usually have it.
So I'm glad it worked out. Hopefully the voice is coming through good and everything else. So just brushing on his little rain boots to do them in the black brown. You could do them in other colors too, because like sometimes the little boots are in the bright colors, so feel free to change colors if you guys want to change colors. Nothing is set in stone. Do it the way you like it.
I'm gonna ask if you're excited about tomorrow.
So Cordy says, Linda asks if I'm excited about tomorrow. Yes, I am. It's my last day. I have to leave the house at 2:30 to head to turn it in. I have to go to our new office that's in Neenah, which is like hour and 20-minute drive one way. Turn in my computer equipment, yep. And then I'll be done. But I have like a month's worth of orders that are kind of backed up for Bisque and stuff, so it'll still be a busy couple weeks here yet. And then we also have the June box that we're working on.
Yeah, storage units.
I think we were going to do a sneak peek of those, weren't we?
Oh,
Didn't you post
did you
that?
bring them?
I didn't bring them. I thought you had them.
No, I don't have them.
You don't have them?
No.
I thought you had them.
No,
Oh my goodness, Courtney, really?
I don't have them. You told me you had them in the kiln.
I thought you had a set here.
No, I don't have. I've never.
Oh my
seen them.
goodness, you guys. I thought she had a set here.
You'll have to post them when you get home.
Are you sure they're not in the box from last week?
How's on there? I don't have them.
Okay, so when I get home, I'll have to take a picture and post them. We can't show them live because I thought she had a set. And she's telling me she don't have a set.
No, I asked her to bring me a set.
So, okay. No, they're not. No, I brought you regular gnomes, 2 of the set of 3, because I thought you had orders for those.
I do.
But I didn't bring the frogs and the dragonfly. So if you look at your flyer that is in your May box with your mushroom,
I don't have one up here.
there is a frog on there that will be in your June box, and then the gnome with the butterfly on the hat, and the gnome with the dragonfly on the hat will be in the June box along with a dragonfly. And all of those pieces are on your May flyer. So if you got your May box for your mushroom, you can look at the flyer, and one of the frogs is in the box, the gnomes with the butterfly on the hat and the dragonfly on the hat, and then the dragonfly that's by itself, kind of like the butterfly is, that will be in our June box. So you could actually put them with your mushrooms and your butterflies. So Courtney does have the flyer that you guys will have that's in your May box. So if you haven't opened your May box, in your little cellophane packet with your instructions and things is this flyer, because this is your mushroom that you got this month, and then one of your 2 butterflies. That's not the mushroom, that's the flat one. Yours is this one, this little one here. So this is the mushroom you got in your May box with 2 butterflies. And for your June box, you'll get this frog this gnome with the butterfly. Let me see, where's the other gnome? Where's the gnome with the dragonfly?
No.
It's not on here. Well, good thing we noticed that before we order more flyers for that box. And then you'll get this dragonfly. Let me flip it over to see.
Oh. There.
Okay, he's on the back. Okay, we saved the day. Then you'll also get, so you'll get this gnome with the butterfly and this gnome with the dragonfly. You'll get a dragonfly and then this frog. That will be our June box. But I'll take a picture of the Bisque when I get home and post it. So sorry about that. I thought Courtney had a set that I brought when we were boxing boxes. So it's this June will be this frog, this dragonfly, this gnome with the dragonfly, and this gnome with the butterfly. So then for May you got this mushroom and 2 of these butterflies. And then you could purchase this set of 3 gnomes as extras, with the one with the stick and then these 2. Now I also was thinking these little extra guys, they could be painted as the, it's not on there. These guys that a lot of you guys ordered extra, you could paint those like as 4th of July gnomes, or you could paint them as Halloween gnomes, or you could paint them as Christmas gnomes. They're pretty versatile. Hopefully now that I have my last day of working full-time at another job tomorrow, I will have time to actually do that to give you guys ideas too. And I am pouring these already. I have already 10 sets poured because I know we have a waiting list that these will fit extra in your Bisque box again. So if anyone wants them, you can message Courtney. Just message us and Courtney will add you to the list so we make sure we have enough. You can also order extra butterflies and extra dragonflies. And we're going to either include a dowel or a piece of wire so that these guys can be stuck in the ground and then they'll kind of wiggle around a little bit. That'll be one of your extra pieces. Will either be the dowel or the wire. I have to see which one I can get. So if you wanted, you could order extra dragonflies, extra butterflies, the set of 3 gnomes again. You just have to message us and then we cover the shipping on those. So that is your box. So this is the dragonfly guy and the butterfly guy. So just message us and Courtney will get you on the wait list for the set of 3 gnomes.
I wanted to ask if you have Shelly the turtle.
We do not have Shelly the turtle, but those gnomes will actually fit on that turtle, but they'll also fit on the top of that mushroom because they're a little concave and they'll fit right on top of there too.
You do have a whole storage unit.
Those aren't going to be in there. Courtney said that we do have a whole storage unit of molds to go through. We do, but those are newer Clay Magic, and they're not going to be in those. We have other turtles that they could possibly fit on.
And lots of frogs.
Lots of we have turtles and frogs. Lots of them. They won't be those that are on that Clay Magic one because those are newer ones.
Well, if she loves frogs, she has 5 in her koi pond.
Oh, there you go.
Every year.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we got his little boots all nice and dark brown, but again, if you wanted to do the colors like the bright yellow or whatever, that would be fine to do that too. So let's see, now we got her done, that part done, and his done.
Do we have the big frog that the gnomes have? I don't think so.
No, we don't. We don't, but we have a lot. We have a ton of frogs, ton of them. So we're actually going to the storage shed this weekend to move from the little storage shed to the big shed, and we'll be logging a lot of those that haven't been logged yet. So we'll have a better handle on what we have. Alrighty, so we got that done. And I think I did her little dress next. So for her little dress, we will go with our Duncan Bisque Stain, our opaque acrylic Azalea OS 559. So Duncan Azalea OS 559, and again I have to shake these up because they've sat here all week. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my foil. And I'm OS 559 Azalea. And now I'm going to switch to a clean brush because I don't want to put that brown, the pink and the brown, they're too much of a difference. So we will go with, let's see, I think I'm going to go with this flat one here. So I have and I'm going with the flat one because I want to get up by her neck and around her arms. So I'm going to go with my flat artist paintbrush, size 3. So a round size 3 would probably, or the size 1 would probably be good too, but I'm going to go with my flat one, and I'm just going to dip in my azalea and brush it out. And let's see, I got to take a look at her here. We will do her body, her shirt, and her little dress with the azalea. So now I'm going to just brush back and forth and build up my azalea on the whole dress, and then we will come back with our lighter colors to get that ombre effect. Am I in the wrong spot? Close to that stain? I mean, should I put it right over the stain?
To the left of it.
To the left of it? All right. So I'm just going to brush back and forth with my flat dry brush here. And we'll build up our nice azalea color. And kind of get on her little collar line there, her little neckline. You really don't want that to be brown. You want to get the azalea on there too. And we're going to turn her so we can get down here on her little sleeve right up to her wings. And let's see what else is going on. The truck inserts are probably going to dry for another week, and then I'll be able to start pouring them. So that's kind of pretty good timing with those. And we'll come right down under her arms and the little ladybug, and right onto her little tutu, I guess you could call it. We'll brush back and forth across that. Now that was too wet and heavy, so I had to brush that out. And again, I'm going across my texture to keep that nice light brown in the crevices for our shading. And they kind of get uglier before they get pretty, so you just got to be patient and just keep building up your color. And I like to start on, like I started over here on this side, and I'll work around, and then we'll work to the back, and then that'll let the front dry, and then we can do the back and then come back to the front. And you want to get underneath here where her little underside of her skirt is. And I'm just brushing back and forth. It's smooth under there, so you can just brush back and forth. And I'm going to turn her so I can get at a different angle, so I can get my color right up to my little mushrooms and to her little legs. So if you start away and then just slowly make little brush strokes towards it, you can see right where your paint is going on, so you don't get too much on her legs and wherever you don't want it. If you get some, that's okay, because we still got to do her legs yet, and the purple will cover that up. And we're going to come back up on the little skirt and get close to the wing again, and then just keep going around the back. Just brush back and forth. I must have not cleaned that brush out very good last time, so I'm getting a lot of little pieces coming out. I'll have to make sure I brush it a little better next time. So what else? Courtney, we had 6 boxes of supplies came in, so Courtney's got those on the web page and on Etsy. Is that right? On the web page. That's Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. You can message if you're a Bisque Box subscriber, you can message us and then she can add that to your invoice, and if it fits in your box, we'll cover the shipping on it. And it'll ship on the 5th or the 6th then.
We're back in stock on both Dunkin' and Mako, the full line.
So Courtney says we're back in stock with Dunkin' and Mako, the full line of the acrylics that would include the metallics, and we were out of a few of those, so we have all those back in stock.
And Doc Holiday ordered what we could.
And Doc Holiday, she ordered what was available, which,
We're still missing.
as usual, isn't all of it. It's just a all-around problem. So I'm just working my way back around, and I just keep doing that to slowly build up our azalea color. You let it dry and just keep going around and around. And we got to stand her back up so I can get the top of her skirt here in the back. You just brush back and forth, and then you get her the back of her shirt. And the paint goes on really nice with these artist paintbrush brushes. I really like them for that. Seems to build up a lot quicker. Have you got? Oh, and you had a new brush in your box that was your extra. Has anyone used their new brush? They're size 1 flat, right?
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember.
I think it was the size 1 flat.
I packed too many of them.
You packed too many, don't remember? So has anyone tried their new brush yet on anything? What do you think of them? So they're probably stiff when you got it, and you could wash it out with a little dish soap or a little hair conditioner and then let it dry, and then that would get that sizing out of there that helps keep their shape when they're shipping. That's why they're stiff like that.
Nancy loves it.
Nancy loves it? Great. They're really nice brushes. They really keep their shape nice, and the color just seems to go on really nice with them.
You're going to order some more new ones.
We'll be ordering more of their brushes because we're getting a little low on them already too. So in the next week we'll be putting in an order for more. So I'm just working my way back around here to the front, getting my azalea on her little skirt, and just leaving the brown down in the crevices. Get it up on the body part of the shirt. So the subscribers, if you get the boxes from now through December, you'll have the full set of the round and the flat dry brushes, because that's your extra in those boxes. So this is box, let's see, box 10 went out, no, 11. That was box 11, and now box 12 will be June's box, so that'll be a whole year. We'll have a whole year in once our June box ships.
Anniversary in July.
And an anniversary in July, yep. And we have something special coming in that box as an anniversary gift. So I'm going to come back up here to our little shirt on top so we can get some more azalea on that. And work it right up to the neckline. Down onto the little sleeves here. Let's see, so we're moving molds this weekend. It's supposed to be kind of nice, but not super nice. Like just in the 60s, so we'll try to get that done before it's 90s out.
Yeah.
Well, Cordy says we'll see how quick we run out of room. Hopefully not too quick, because we have a whole semi-load coming. Or it was a semi-trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was.
I know, I was there with you. I've seen it in the dark.
It was in the dark, is right. But they're really, really good molds in really, really good condition, so I can't wait to kind of actually go through them. We didn't get to go through them. We just looked in the dark, and the lady didn't want to split them up. She wanted the kilns and the molds to go as a one buy it all, and we didn't have time or the space at that time, but the lady that bought them wanted the kilns and really didn't want the molds. She's going to go through them and keep a few of the molds, some of the garden type stuff, and then the rest will be coming to us. So that's pretty exciting. So Cordy says we have a question from Paul. Any secret on keeping brushes nice to last a long time? The best thing is to wash them out really well. I like to use that Harold's brush pad cleaner. And I can actually show you now with this dry brush that has the black brown in it, because I don't think I'm going to need it again, but I have enough if I do. So this is the Harold's brush cleaner. It's just a rubber pad, and you put it in the bottom of your bowl of water, or you can put it in the sink after you're done for the night, and that's usually what I do, is put it in the sink when I'm done for the night. But you want to just rub your brush back and forth across that, and you can just see, and I'm not doing it hard, I'm doing it fairly gently. And I'm just rubbing back and forth. I'm not stabbing it up and down. You don't want to do that because that breaks your bristles. So you just want to rub back and forth. You can see how dirty the water's getting, so that all that cruddy paint is coming out of there. And then I'll do this again with all my brushes at the very end of the night when I'm done painting with everything. I put the pad in the sink and turn the water on. Just some warm water, and I'll even squirt some Dawn dish soap in there. And just brush back and forth, and then go through every one. And then I usually take a cotton, like a washcloth, and I'll dry them, kind of taking them to a point. You can see that even though it's stained, it's nice and clean. There's no paint in there. And then you want to lay them flat until they're dry. So I usually let them flat on the counter till the next morning. That way the water doesn't go up into your ferrule and loosen up the glue. And then after that, you can store them vertical if you want to. But all that paint came out of there with that brush cleaner. That works really, really well, that pad. So that's the best tip, is to keep them clean and dry them horizontal instead of vertical. So let's see, we got to get stuff back here. And don't jab them up and down. Just brush back and forth with them to clean them. We got to get a little more of our azalea, and we do carry on that brush cleaner pad. But if you got the box last July, our very first box, that was the extra in that box. So maybe you didn't notice it or you didn't use it, but it's in there. And we do have a lot of new people that didn't get that box. But Cordy did just stock back up on that brush cleaner, and that would fit in your Bisque box on the. If you want it, you just message her, and then she can add it to your invoice, and you pay for it, and then that would ship in your Bisque box for free shipping, because it's little and it'll fit. So I'm just brushing back and forth here and building up my azalea pink. Get a nice little coverage on it, get the sides, get underneath the skirt. There's also brush cleaner. We also carry that too. It's a liquid brush cleaner, right? You carry that. You can use that too instead of like the Dawn dish soap or like a hair conditioner. I know Sherry Porter, the brush lady, has mentioned you can use like a hair conditioner to wash your brushes with, and that'll help condition them. I'm just brushing back and forth, getting her the little shirt part here a little bit pinker. And the little sleeves. And then I think she's pretty good with her pink. And want to look underneath there one more time. And we'll look at the back now that that dried a little more. And now we're going to go to our cotton candy, Dunkin' Cotton Candy, OS 551. And Courtney went to get the brush cleaner, so she'll type this in once she gets back. So we do have the brush. Are all the bottles this big that you have? Or you have little bottles too? Oh, okay. Okay, and how much is this? So this is the Dunkin' brush cleaner. You use this like soap. You could squirt a little bit on your pad if you have it in the sink, and then have the water going slow, and then just brush your brush back and forth. You could also squirt it into your on your brush and kind of massage your paint out too. That works too. So that we have that on our Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque too.
It's $5.50.
And that's $5.50, and that could ship in your Bisque boxes too. That's small enough we could get it in there. So now we're going to go to our Duncan OS 551 cotton candy, Courtney. Again, it's our OS 551 cotton candy. And now I'm going to use my same pink brush because it's in that same color family, so that'll give us a nice graduation of color without a stark difference. So I just grabbed my cotton candy and I'm brushing it out on my little paper towel here. So I kind of did a little ombre effect on hers, on her little skirt. So I'll start at the bottom part of her skirt and then work about 3/4 of the way up with the cotton candy. And then I did just a little bit on each cuff and just a little bit on the shirt. But I'll have more towards the end of the skirt and then less of the cotton candy as we go up, so it's a nice gradual change. So we'll put a little bit on her sleeves here just to highlight them. Huh? And a little bit on her shirt there and on her belly. So that gnome will give you the actual, show you the graduation too. We have like the Lexington green, and then we have our leaf green, and then we have our lime burst. So it gives you that nice graduation of color. And we'll do that with our azalea and now our cotton candy, and then we'll do a little white right on the tip. Courtney says the skirt is the favorite part. So I start on the tip, and then I just brush back and forth about 3/4 to 2/3 of the way up. And I want more of it at the edge and less as it goes up, but you do want a little bit as you go up, because that's what gives it that ombre look. But you want a lot more on the edge. And that can, this can take a little practice to be able to get that nice graduation of color like that. But you can see I'm getting a lot more on the edge, and now I'm going to come and do just a little bit less going up, but there is some. So it's just a nice graduation of color. And you're letting that azalea on that top 1/3 or 1/4. And I do just a little bit, about 1/4 inch on the bottom side, kind of where those ruffles are, because the light would be hitting that. And then we're going to come back to that top edge again. You want more on the edge, and then less as you go up. More on the edge and less as you go up. More on the edge and then less. And we'll come to the back and kind of do the same thing. And that's a little too wet when you have brush marks like that, so you got to brush it out. And I'm just touching really lightly. You don't have to like really bear down and with your brushes. These just paint goes on really nice. I'm just brushing real gently, just building up that cotton candy color. A little bit on the bottom side here where the ruffles are. And we'll come back to the top. A lot on the edge and then a little bit as you go up. So from a lot to a little. From a lot to a little. Bring it right around the side. And again, I'm going across that texture so that pink don't get down in my crevices, so I have that nice shadowing going on. And again, about 3/4 of the way up, 3/4 to 2/3. And just a little bit on the back of her shirt there just to highlight the middle a little bit. And we're going to come back around and get a little bit, one more layer around the bottom edge, just to brighten it up a little more so you have that ombre effect. And then less as you go up, more on the end and then less, more and then less. Okay, a little more on her edge of her sleeve here where the light would be hitting it. And just a little more underneath there to make that a little bit more gradual. And we'll work it right around. Okay, so now I'm going to grab some white. We're going to do just the tips in white. So I have the OS 431 white. OS 431 white. And again, I'm going to shake that up because they sit here all week. And we just need a drop of that. And now I'm going to use my same pink brush, so I have a graduation of color again, and then grab my white and just brush it out. So you can see we have like light and then the medium and the dark. So we have the 3 shades of color. I generally always do the 3 shades. So again, I'm going to, with the white, I just want to go on the very tip here of these ruffles to brighten that just a little bit, and that gives us our final shading. And we'll turn it and just work our way right around. So hopefully you can see the color, how it has that nice graduation from the light to the dark. And we'll come right around. I'm just mainly doing it right on the tips, like a 1/4 inch. And it's not a stark white because that pink was in the brush, and that just gives that real nice light pink. And we'll get just a little bit on the underside. So Courtney says we have a question. What did you antique with? So Trudy, we actually color washed these guys with the medium brown. It was 50-50 watered and 50% paint. And we brushed it on, and then I used a sponge and wiped it off on the high areas. And then now we're just dry brushing them. So I'll put just a little white on her little tips of her sleeve there, and a little bit on her belly. So there is her little pink graduated color. It looks like it looks pretty good on my camera on the tablet, so I hope you guys can see that pretty good too. So it's our light, and then medium, and then the azalea. So it looks good. Alrighty, so now she needs, let's see, we need some of our purple and lilac. So I'm going to go to our OS 452, our purple. OS 452 purple. Courtney said she'd be terrible at bingo. She wouldn't get none of the colors because she's OS 452. And now the purple is another pastel color, so I'm actually going to use the same brush. I'm not even going to change out the brush, but if you wanted, you could change out the brush. I just brush that purple in there and then brush it out really well on my paper towel there. So now we're going to do her little legs, and again, we're just going to go back and forth, right up to the mushroom and right up to her little skirt. So we'll go back and forth here. Bring it right up to her skirt. And you probably could have left these in a skin color too if you wanted, but to me it looked like she had little tights on. So I did the little tights. And I'm doing the legs before the mushrooms because the legs are down further than the mushroom. That way I won't get all the... If I did the mushroom first, I'd probably be getting the purple onto the mushroom. So you want to do the deeper area, the lowest level first. So that's why I decided to do the legs instead of the mushrooms. Or her little tights. To me, I thought they were little tights. And then she's got her little flower here. We'll go right up to that. And that's a little much, so I gotta brush that out a little bit. And just go across her little toes. And bring it right around to her mushrooms in the back. And then you also want to do the bottom. It's always important to do your bottom so those look nice. Oh, I'm probably getting out of screen. I had my hand way over. I'm back by my green dot so I know where to go. I'm just brushing back and forth here with our purple, get our little feet done. And I will come back to the front because that'll be dry and we can give it another layer. So you do need the littler brushes like the 1 and the 3 for these little dainty areas. But they're still easy to do as long as you just have a small enough brush. So don't be afraid that it's too much detail, because you can see you can still dry brush it. You just need a smaller brush, that's all. You wouldn't want to be trying to do that with this big old brush because you'd have purple everywhere. But if you have a little brush like this 3 or a size 1, you can do those little areas without problems. You just need the right tool for the job, that's all. So we'll get these guys all purpled up here. Courtney planted a garden last weekend, or just a couple days ago. Jason made her a fancy raised bed with the galvanized tin and the wood. It's really nice. She'll have to take a picture and post it. Oh, you're gonna plant those in there? Oh, so you guys had zinnia seeds in your fairy box too. We had some extras, so she's going to plant some of those in there with her. What did you plant? Radishes?
Lettuce.
Radishes, lettuce. Onions.
Oh, he has a lot of pepper plant and a cherry tomato.
Oh, and some peppers and a cherry tomatoes they're going to do, but it's too cold here yet. It'll probably freeze. You probably need 2 peppers and 2 tomatoes for pollination.
Might be another garden bed.
So I'm just getting my purple on the bottom where the little tights are on the, you can see where they come around here. You just want to bring that right onto the back so you have a nice finished bottom. And just brush back and forth. Even though it's smooth, the color will build up on there. And you can work that down into her little crevice as much and leave as much of the brown showing as you want. If you don't want a lot of the brown showing, just go with your crevice and that'll fill that in a little bit more instead of going across it. Okay, so now we're going to take our lilac, Courtney, our Duncan OS 450 lilac, and we'll shake that up a little bit too. And we're just going to need a drop because we're going to highlight her little leggings here a little bit. So I've used my same dirty brush again, dipped in my lilac, and I'm just going to brush it out on my paper towel. And we're just going to come and go across just the tips of her toes and just highlight that a little bit as if the sun was shining on there, and that'll give your piece more dimension so it doesn't look flat and boring. And we'll do a little bit along the leg here and up to the flower, and then back on her little toes and just a little bit to the side. And it doesn't take a whole lot. You don't want a drastic change. You just want it so it looks like it's highlighted by the sun. Okay, so she's all highlighted. So Courtney says, Trudy asked if we sell dry brushes. Yes, we do. They're at Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com. And Courtney will be able to add the link probably right under your post there. You'll be able to click on it and it'll take you right to it. We have the Royal and Langnickel, the blue ones, which are a good starter, budget-friendly ones. And then we have our new ones that we got that are like a better quality, and they're a little more expensive, but they are a better brush. But both brushes are good brushes. It's just one's a little better than the other. I do like these, the purple ones here, the artist paintbrush. The paint seems to go on really, really well with them. Really nice. Alrighty, so we got that done. We got her arms done. I'll probably do the wings last so I don't get color all over them. Let's see, her little mushroom, and then that's when we'll do the stems with the wing color. So we can probably do our turquoise on our mushrooms. Normally I probably would have done the cream off-white part first, but I'll do that when we do the wings. So I'm going to go to our deep turquoise, our Duncan OS 468 Courtney. And we're going to shake that up again a little bit. And just get a little drop. And I'll probably go with my size 1 flat brush or a size 1 round brush. And I have my artist paintbrush again, because it's just a little area that we're going to be in. Just grab that and brush it out. And you can do the mushrooms in any color. I just thought I would do the turquoise. It kind of went with the purple and the pink just for a different color instead of the red. I really didn't want red mushrooms next to that pink and purple. And you can turn your flat brush on its side. I kind of like those for those little areas, because you can turn it on its side and you have less paint getting all over the place. So again, I'm just going to brush back and forth. And I'm going to bring it right down to where the mushroom cap would kind of end, because we'll do that with our ivory color. And we'll take it right up to her skirt. And I just start away in the mushroom, and then I slowly nudge to the skirt, and that way I can see right where that paint is going without getting that skirt all full of turquoise. And we'll work our way around. Now you could do each mushroom in a different color if you wanted to as well. I just did them all with the turquoise. And it's okay if you get it on the bottom of the one next to it, because we'll be covering it up with the ivory, but I'm going to try not to get it all over too much. So it'll just take more paint to get it covered up then. And I'll just keep working my way around. Just brushing back and forth, going across. So the two mushrooms, you can see there's the crevice. I want to go across that crevice to keep that crevice with the brown for the shading. And we'll work from one side to the other. That way we can come back around. So this one has a stem, and then we have this little mushroom here and a little mushroom there, so you kind of want to just get your mushroom caps, and if you get some on the stems, that's okay too, because the ivory will cover it up. We'll just keep working our way around. I don't think we're going to finish with our boy tonight, but that's okay. We can go over. We got time. I mean, we can, if we have to do these guys next week, that's okay, because that mushroom's going to go really quick. And we'll still be able to paint one of the gnomes, so you guys have an idea how to do that ombre look with those. Cordy asked if I'll be able to sleep tonight. Most definitely. Maybe not tomorrow night, but tonight. Or when 2 weeks and there's no paycheck in the bank, then we might not be sleeping. Kind of used to that after 27 years. It's there every 2 weeks. I'm just brushing my turquoise, just building up my color, working my way around, and then we'll come back around again. Working it up to the little pink tutu on her little dress and getting it down in the little crevices here so it's not too much brown. So we'll do that crackle technique, and that doesn't take long either. So in painting the mushroom with the dots doesn't take long. So it's okay that we're going over with these guys. So we got to get the front of our mushroom here. And I'm just working it up to her little leggings and up to her little dress. Just taking our time so we don't get it all over. And now we'll come back and get another layer. Make sure I got everything covered. And we'll work back around, see if anything needs more. And brush back and forth. Let's see, we had snow flurries last week since we talked to you guys. And hail. Cordy said she had hail. I had snow flurries. Yeah, we had rain, snow, everything in one day. Whatever you wanted, just take a pick. And even some sunshine, she says. All right, so we have our turquoise on there. So now we can go to our, let's see, what are we going to do? We could probably go, I'm going to go to our little daisy flower there, and I'm going to use our OS 438, our orange peel. OS 438 orange peel. Did you get that, Courtney? OS 438 orange peel. And we just need a little bit. And let's see, I want a little brush for that too. So I have my artist paintbrush, my size 1. And I am going to go to a new brush because the turquoise and the orange are totally different from each other. So I just grabbed my orange and brushed it out on my paper towel, and now I'm just going to work that on there. And you can do the little daisy in whatever colors you want. You guys don't you don't have to do the colors I do. I wasn't sure what color to do that in. So kind of did this orangey with a little bit of, we'll put the brush into the white and that'll give us more of a peachy look. And let's see, her center was the brown, so I just covered that up. We'll have to put some more brown in there. And you just want to get it out onto the petals, but you can see with the little brushes you can get into those little areas. So your size 1 one flat that came in your box with your mushroom, you might want to bust that out and use that for the little detail on your fairies. And now we're going to get our flower up here on her hair. And we'll just brush back and forth on the back side here. And that'll take a couple because we got some of the dark brown of her hair on there. So we'll get it. Let's just work our way back around. I'm just touching real light just so I can get it in the area that I want it instead of all over. I got to get a little more of our orange peel. Just touching it so I'm getting the petals that orange color. And work it around to the back. Just doing little strokes just to get it in a controlled area, those little petals. As long as you have a little brush, you can do it. And we'll bring it back around. grab a little more and brush it out, get it down here in the center. Alrighty, and we'll come back and do the one down here because that one's nice and dry now. It'll take the color again. At least the audio has been good. Maybe they got that fixed, huh, Courtney? Nobody's complained about the audio. We had 3 weeks of that. That was a problem. They're changing things, yeah. Yeah. Alrighty, so we got our little orange little sunflowers here, or daisies, whatever you want to call them. So now I'm actually going to take my orange brush and I'm going to just dip it in the white and brush that out. Do that a couple times to get my color lighter. And now we can just highlight our little tops of our petals so they're not quite so orange and it looks like the sun's highlighting them. And I'm just going kind of on the center of them, the center of each petal, just kind of brushing across it, just to get it lighter. Flowers usually have a few shades of colors in them. And we'll get a little bit on the back side. So there's our nice little peach flowers. A little more down here. And then I'll go back to my black brown, and that's kind of a big brush. I'm actually just going to take one of my round nylon brushes, my artist paintbrush, my size 4 round brush, and I'm just going to dip that in my black brown, and I'm just going to dab on that center to make it like a little daisy with the dark brown center. And you got to kind of turn her so you can get the brush where it needs to go. Oh, a little too much over there. Now we got to bring some more up so it looks even. Alrighty, and then we'll do our top one up here. I'm just doing little dots so it kind of looks like a flower center. Just little up and down dabs, dibbies, dabbies. And that kind of gives us our nice little sunflower daisy center. Okay, so I'm going to brush back and forth and brush that brush out so it's clean. And let's see, we have her mushroom stems and her little wings, and we have our little ladybugs. I think we'll take our little ladybug and we'll go with our rust. And I'm just going to use my little nylon brush, again my size 4, to actually just paint that instead of trying to dry brush that little bitty area. So I have my Doc Holliday DH rust. If you have the Dunkin' rust, that works too. I like to put rust first for my red base. And I'm just going to get my rust where my ladybug is, where her little shell would be. So you can still paint on your pieces even though the majority of it's dry brush. When you have a little bitty area like this, sometimes it's better to just paint it. We'll get our little rust on here, and then we can put our red on. We'll wash that out. And now we'll go to our real red, our OS 483 Courtney, real red. We'll shake that up too. And I'll just take a drop. And I'll dip in there, and now we'll paint our ladybug where we painted the rust. We'll paint it red, and then the red just comes through nice and red. And that way I'm not getting red all over her hands and her dress. Hopefully you can see this. I kind of moved it towards myself and realized I probably shouldn't do that. I'm just painting our ladybug with the red rather than dry brushing her. It's such a little area. Courtney says we got some comments I got to check out. All right. So we have our red. I'll wash out my brush. Oh, someone. Oh, Helen, how nice. You're a trendsetter. Every box, the features seem to pop up after you send them out of the boxes. Oh, good. Yeah. Alrighty, now we're going to grab some black. I should have it on my cart here. Our OS 476 black. And we just need a drop to do the little head on our ladybug. So I'm going to just dip my little nylon brush in there and get our little black on our little ladybug's head here. Well, hopefully after tomorrow I'll have more time to get on more projects and have more stuff available too on our site and all kinds of good stuff. So I'm just painting our little ladybug head black. And you could use a little liner brush too if you didn't want to use the round brush. But these have a nice point on them, so they work really well. We carry these too, these round nylons. Yep, we're going to order some flat ones. We'll probably look at that tomorrow after I have to take my computer to the corporate office, and Courtney wants me to stop after work, so I'll stop. So as long as we have our black, I'm going to grab my little ball, one of my ball styluses. And which container are they in? The ball stylus? No, they're probably in here, right? I thought I pulled them out and put them separate. Wait, here? I have two containers. One's got brushes and one's got other stuff. So I'm just going to grab one of my ball styluses, one of the smaller ones, to make our dots on our ladybug, and I'll dip that straight up and down into the black. And then put a few little, let me move it, make sure you can see it, little dots. I'm just going straight down. And I gotta get some more paint. We don't want huge dots on a ladybug because she's just a little ladybug. And we probably want a couple over on this side too, which are going to be a little harder to get in there because there's not much room there. So you want to steady your piece on the table, and you want to steady your dotting hand on your piece so you have control and don't smear it all over the place. And we'll put another one down here. So there, our ladybug's got her little dots. And we'll wipe that off. And I'm going to dip it in the white and just give her a little, what would be like a eye highlight, one on each side here, just a little one. You don't want that too big either. And you want to try to get them the same. So I got one big one and one little one. So now we got to make the other one bigger there. A little bigger than I like, but it's okay. So we'll put that back in that guy. And let's see. We can now go to our... What color did I use here? Can't tell if that's the same color. Here's my instructions. Oh, we didn't have gray in the box, right? So it's not gray. It's got to be the ivory then. Let's see here. What do we got for the wings? I painted these so long ago, I forgot what I used, you guys. Let's see. Paint the eyes, lips. Where's my wings? Brush the wings with white, leaving some ivory closer to the base. Let's see. I'm going to do the white ivory first and then some white. So we're going to go with our OS 342 are ivory. And I'm going to turn my little foil around here. Shake this up good. And that'll take quite a bit. So we'll probably go with our, let's see which brush you're going to go with now. It's a little bit a bigger area, so we'll go with our, I'm going to go with my flat one again so I can get up to her arms. Our artist paintbrush, size 5. And we'll get some new paper here. And I'm just going to dip in my ivory. And now we're going to just brush kind of across our texture. Looks like I got lots of black on there from the brown from the hair at some point. So you can kind of turn this on its edge side here too to get up next to the arms and the little skirt. And then we'll just brush back and forth. And I want to be careful not to get my fingers in those dots because those take a little bit longer to dry because there's more paint there. And I'm going to carefully work into the little peak there so I don't get the ivory all over the hair and all over the shirt and her neck. And we'll brush back and forth here. And I kind of got it turned on its side, going the skinny way, so I can control it instead of having it going the wide way. Because then it's harder to control that what's next to the arm. So I can do that better with it like this. Kind of turned on its end. And here we can just brush back and forth and get that all covered. And then we'll turn her and go to the back. And we can brush back and forth. You want to get the edge as well here. And I'll kind of take the edge and go along the side where the feathers and the wing and the dress meets. Same thing on this side. And then we can kind of just go forward here where we have all this room. And again, I'm kind of trying to go across my crevices to let that shading down in there. It just gives them more, they don't look so flat, they just have more shape and dimension to them. Yeah, and you can let just a little bit, you can leave a lot of the light brown or a little bit of the medium brown. It's up to you how much you want showing through. And one of the ladies, I think it was Tammy, showed us hers, and I think hers were in white, and she didn't have the brown in the crevices at all, and that was really nice too. So that, I mean, there's more than one way to always do something. Just do it the way you like it. Making sure I get it on the edges. And we're going to turn it and go back to the other side here. And that's too much when it goes on that thick at once. It's too much. It should go on just a little bit at a time. And kind of work it up to her hair here again. And just keep brushing back and forth. Courtney's puppy sitting this week. Well, he's not really a puppy though. He's like a grandpa, right? He's old.
Yeah.
But he's really a nice dog.
Easiest dog in the world.
They will never want a dog because he's like the best. He's really well behaved. What is he? Some kind of poodle or something? He looks poodleish to me. Terrier and poodle or something. It's just like a little household dog. But he goes outside and does his thing and comes in and sleeps and puts himself to bed. He's well behaved. Not like the cat that I got at home. I'm just going to work my way up to her little arms here and kind of go with the brush on its, would seem to be on its edge here, so I can just work that real close up in there with that side of it and turn it, whatever you got to do to get it in that little area. So get in the ivory all over her hair and her shirt. Well, Cordy's coming to look. She'll probably be painting here yet. I'm just brushing back and forth now as I get further out because it's just easier there. There's more room. Just kind of work it in up to the arms. I usually start away and then work towards it. And we'll have to turn her and come back to get the edges here. And the top. Oh, and my mixer pump came, so I'll have to put that together. It has a spindle on it and like looks like a boat motor prop that goes on the end, and then that'll clip onto the dowels on the pouring table, so I can mix the slip right in the pouring table. I'm just brushing back and forth and building up that ivory. I don't want all that medium brown coming through. Just brush, brush, brush. Build your colors up little layers at a time. Just keep going back. Let one area dry and then go back to it after you finished another area. And if you get it on the hair like I did there, that's okay. When we're done, we'll go with our black brown and touch it up. So let's see, how does our front look? Pretty good. You can still see the dark color through here, so I need a little more there where I gobbed the dark brown on. Alrighty, so that's looking pretty good. Now we'll do the same with our mushrooms, because they kind of have I think most of them have more of a cream colored stalk on them than a dark stalk. So we'll try to do it with this little bit of a bigger brush here. It'll work, I think. We'll just turn it on its edge, and I'm going to keep making sure I'm still in the screen here. I'm just going to brush back and forth across them. Kind of got to go up and down where you have a skinnier spot. Or you can switch to a smaller brush too, but I have it in this, the paint is in this brush, so we're going to just be careful and use the edges of it and we'll get it. And we got to get up underneath there. We want a little bit of cream under there where the turquoise ends. So I just have my brush on its chisel or on its edge, and that way I can, it's kind of a little brush that way, even though it's not a little brush. Let's keep building up our ivory on our stems here. And she'll almost be done, actually. Come with some white on there yet. 8:30. Okay. So you can get your ivory on there how you want it. Get a little bit up underneath there. And then you can highlight it with the white. That and the wings. get this guy done here yet.
Helen says she uses Lazy Susan for big.
Yep, that works great. Lazy Susans work great. I have a couple of them. I have an elevated one, and then I have one that's flat on the table too. I use my elevated one all the time. I've had that thing like probably 40 years. Nope, not 40 years, probably 38 years. We're just going to build up that ivory a little bit more, and then that'll be pretty much where we want it. And we can't forget the bottom. Get that ivory on the bottom too, where those mushrooms come around here. You always do your bottoms. And you could leave them ivory, but I just gave them a little bit of highlight with the white. Get this one here a little more. Alrighty, and now we'll go to our white. We have our OS 431 white, which I already have some on the pad here, so I'll just grab that. And I'll probably need a little more the way it looks. And now we want to highlight way too much. It's way too wet. When it's real wet like that, that's way too much. You got to brush that out more. Kind of want the end 1/3 of the wings with the white, and then a little bit less as you go to the center, because the light would be hitting this area out here more. And then we want our edges, because the light would be hitting that a lot. And the same on this side. And then a little bit less towards the center there. More on the edge. Just dry brush our white on our front like 1/3, and then less as it goes in, because the light would be hitting this over here, and that part of the wing is thinner, so it would kind of be going right through it and making it look brighter. And the same on this side. Kind of let in the ivory in this inside third, and then less ivory and a little bit of white, and then more white on the edge. So it's a nice gradual change of color. And then you can add more if you want too. If you want them completely whiter, you can do that. Or even if you wanted them like a really pale pink, like this pale pink, you could have even done that. That might have been cute too. I'm just getting the edges a little bit whiter, just to set them off a little bit more. And now we'll do just a little bit on our stems, just to highlight them a little bit. And right on the center of them. Make sure I'm in the scene here, because I think I'm moving away from it. Yep, Courtney didn't catch that. I'm way off the screen there. So we'll get back into the screen here, and we'll just highlight the centers of our mushroom stems. And the front of that one. Front of this one. So that looks pretty good. So now we have to put little white dots on our little mushrooms. And I'm actually going to use my size 2 round artist paintbrush. They're a little too big for the ball styluses, so I'm just going to use that 2. And again, I'm anchoring my piece onto the table, and got my hand holding it tight, and I'm going to use my painting hand is anchored on my piece with my fourth finger, and I can get my little round circles that way. You could probably use a small nail head like we did last month if you have a smaller size nail. And we'll get our little dots here. Huh? Up a touch?
Yeah.
Or you could use the, like the tip of the brush handle would probably work really well too. I can do that because it's probably not, it isn't too fine. Sometimes they're really fine. And this has a nice round end on it, so I'll just dip that in there. It's bigger than the ball stylus. And we can dot our little dots that way. That works perfect. So you can use your brush handle if it's got a nice, little bit bigger than the ball stylus, but not too big. So we'll get our dots on here. And I'm just dipping in my white and going straight down onto my, where the little, you can see where the little marks are, where the toadstool dots are. I did order a set of mandala tools this week for making dots like they do with the rocks. They're supposed to ship in 2 weeks, but then when I got the Amazon notice, it's not going to be till the end of June, so I guess we'll see when they really come. So there, we have our little mushrooms all dolled up. So now you could, at this point, you could, she's basically done except for her eyes. We'll do her face when we do the little boy's face. I would go back and touch up any place, like I got a little bit of the peach on the brown, I would touch that up. There's a little bit of pink on the purple, I would touch that up a little more, and I got a little bit of the turquoise on the pink. I would just go back with my, I have those brushes all laying here, and I would just go back and dip in whatever color you need to dip in, and just kind of touch that up wherever you got any colors that don't belong where they might have gotten. Like on her hair, we got our hair with some brown out with the cream on it, and you can just go with your brush and just touch that up. So next week we'll do our little boy, and we'll finish our little girl with her eyes and her glitter and her little gemstones that she gets. And that was black instead of black brown. I'm talking and not paying attention. So I got to go back to the black brown instead of the black, but that's how you can touch any of your areas up. Just go back and touch it up real carefully. Make sure you don't use the wrong color like I did. Talking and not paying complete attention. So I can get the black brown, I can nudge it back up to my peach here so that it looks nice and neat and not just smeared everywheres. And it just takes a little bit to go back and do that, but it's nice if you do that because then your piece just looks a lot neater. So we'll look at that. Okay, so you could touch up your piece that you need to wherever you need to touch up any colors. Next week we'll finish up our boy, and then we will give our little girl her face as well. We'll put our glitter on our dragonfly, we'll put our glitter on their wings, we'll put our little jewels on there, and I should be able to show you how to clean up bad bisque if you order bisque from someone that's not us, and it comes with a ding in it or a scratch or something. We're going to show you with that stilt stone. So you got this stilt stone as an extra in your box with the fairies. We'll show you how to use this and what you can do to maybe fix up if you got a bad piece of bisque, or even if you drop it and put a ding in it, a little ding or chip in it. We'll show you what you can do with this to help smooth that out. And so that'll be next week. So we'll get these guys all done. And always wash your brushes out really well. Let them dry vertically. Close your caps on your paint always. No, I don't. They don't always close sometimes because they get gobbed up with paint. So I think that's about it for tonight. We will see you guys next Thursday at the same time, same channel. Hopefully the cameras acts good with the computer next time if we figure out what we need to change with that. So there's your little fairies. We're almost done, and if you wanted to start on your mushroom, you do have the instructions in there. I think you could base coat your bottom. I think we used light brown, because then we'll dry brush that with the ivory, but we probably won't even get to that next week. We'll finish out with this box and do our glitter, and we'll do I have a piece of bisque that I intentionally made kind of ugly, so we'll go over some things on how to fix if you get something with a air hole in it, which you will not get from us. We do not ship anything like this. It goes into the reject. Something that's not cleaned very well with the detail. We'll show you with the stilt stone and a couple other little tricks how to fix those things if you would get that from someone. So that will be next week. So have a great week, you guys, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.